Hey guys, I'm shooting this video off my phone because my GoPro's giving me fits. That thing just chews up memory cards. Anyway, I'm driving down the road. Kind of got rained out today. We had about an inch and a half this morning with more rain on the way. Like I touched that in yesterday's video, talked about that. So they're calling up for 5 inches. So the next few days probably gonna be pretty slow. But I had meetings today with my app developers in regards to the Timber Tracker app, which I'm sure some of you guys have heard of it. Some of you guys probably even use the app. We've got a lot of new features getting ready to come out for the app. I mean, great. I think you guys are really going to like it. I'm super excited about it. I mean, it's great stuff. I think it'll really help everybody out. But this morning, I had breakfast with a good friend of mine. His name's Danny. He also cuts timber. We live fairly close together, maybe about 15 miles apart. You know, we like to catch up every now and then, get together, eat, just kind of BS, shoot the breeze. This morning, now me and Danny were talking, and one thing we were kind of talking about is we've been talking about timber and logging, which that's what loggers talk about. Well, the one thing that we kind of touched on this morning was, man, we've missed out on some bids here lately, and it's kind of, I mean, it happens from time to time. You know, you can't get every bid. You just can't do it. That's not the way the world works, and we know that, but some of these bids we've lost out on have been to companies that have, I'll put it this way, guys, like if you get some timber bid and you got some guys that are right there close and you've got one company that's like, way above everybody else, that's kind of a reason to kind of raise some concern usually. And sometimes, I mean, it's just maybe that company's willing to go the extra mile, but the thing about it is, what I'm getting at with this is here lately, me and Danny have noticed some trends going on. There's been some companies that are less than reputable. When timber prices get high, everybody comes out of the woodworks to cut timber. The first thing I always tell people, I'm like, well, and I'm not trying to run people down here on equipment, I'm really not. Look at, if these guys are actual loggers, I mean, I always like to ask for some kind of credentials. I mean, you know, like with me and Danny, we carry our certification through the state of Missouri. You know, we've got a list of references, miles long. We've got fairly nice equipment, nothing new, but it's nice. We take care of it. We take a lot of pride in our work, so it shows in our equipment. Guys, look at some of these people that are wanting to cut your timber. If their equipment looks kind of ragged out or junky and just things like that, I mean, if they don't take pride in their work, that's something to really take notice to. Here lately, there was a job of timber not long ago Danny was telling me about. I guess he missed the bid. Somebody came in hired him, and I think they were quite a bit higher. And Danny's good at bidding timber. Danny bids timber tight. I mean, he does. He can put the nail in the coffin when it comes to bidding timber. And they come in quite a bit higher than him. But when the job was done, come to find out, the timber did not bring the figure they threw out there, which wasn't that surprising. But also, the timber looked terrible. I mean, they went through there and butchered the place, left the place a mess, cut a bunch of residual trees that should not have been cut, and still didn't reach the number they were talking about it reaching. And guys, that's what hurts. I mean, guys like me and Danny might not always be the highest, but the figure we throw out there, you're going to get that figure, and usually you're going to get that figure and then some when we throw that figure out there. We like to leave room for error because we know there's a lot of times there's going to be error. I mean, we can get ballpark on what those trees are going to bring, but it's not always going to be precise. So we like to leave that room for error. And I always tell people to watch out for that. Just let it raise a little concern. Be cautious about it. Be cautious about who you have cut your timber, because it's not something that happens all the time. I mean, a timber harvest, you know, the average person maybe just 2 or 3 times in their lifetimes, all they're going to have maybe their timber stand harvested. And a lot of that comes down to your logger. I mean, you've got to have a logger that knows what they're doing and respects the land and knows what to cut and what not to cut. You've always got to think about the residual trees in your future. And you don't want them leaving it in shambles or a mess, because, you know, a lot of you guys, that's recreational ground. That's not just a piece of ground you're growing trees on. That's ground you're hunting, you're farming, you're enjoying with your family or yourself. So that's something to think about. That's really about all I had for that little rant there. But guys, just be cautious about that. And like I said, I'm not always going to be the highest bid out there. I'll tell you that right now. But I can tell you that when I get in there and do the job, man, I try to do the best I can to take care of it and leave that timber looking good. And I'm going to treat you right. Danny's going to do the same thing. And companies like me and Danny's are going to do the same thing. It's not just me and Danny. There's several loggers out there that have been in the game a long time, who go through all the proper steps, carry the insurance, that are very reputable, and, you know, they're proud of what they do. And that's what you got to look for in a logger. That is what you have to look for. Another thing, like I said, timber tracker, guys, that's great things are coming. Great things are coming. Every time I meet with the guys down here, I leave more excited, more and more excited all the time. Tomorrow, Logger Threads. If you guys haven't checked out Logger Threads on Facebook, clothing line, forestry inspired clothing line, they've got a new design coming out. I've seen the design. I'm ecstatic about it. I'm tickled to death about the design they're coming out with. I love it. I love everything about it. You guys need to check that out. They're releasing that tomorrow. So check out Logger Threads. Order yourself some shirts, because I will promise you this: you will not find shirts any nicer, that fit better, feel better than what Logger Threads is pumping out. They are high quality American made shirts. I love buying American made products, and that's what it is. I mean, it's high quality stuff. So guys, check that out. And hopefully maybe tomorrow we can have a cool video instead of me just kind of, you know, ranting and raving about things. But that's all I've got for today. Cruising on home right now. So guys, check that out. Check out Logger Threads. Check out Timber Tracker. Keep on liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting on all of our networks. You know, Turner Logging LLC on YouTube, Turner Logging LLC on Facebook, Instagram. Like us, subscribe, share, comment, follow. Love talking to you guys. Love it. Guys, awesome comments coming in. I can't think of all of our new subscribers from Australia, from Ireland, Canada. Man, you guys are awesome. That's awesome to see you guys watching our stuff. But be sure to check out Logger Threads as well. Timber inspired apparel for loggers. Check that out, guys. I'm going to get off here and get on down the road. We'll talk to you tomorrow.